When most people look at this, they see just a ball. A ball that some people play a silly game in. To me, basketball has taken me on such an amazing journey. It's taught me the true meaning of hard work. It's taught me how to persevere through adversity. It's taught me that giving back is so important. And it's also taught me that there are several definitions of what normal is. This is a space between reaching your goals and enjoying the journey. You see, I was the kid who would race you 80 times just to say that I beat you once. Yeah, I was that kid. And I was athletic, and it was easy. It came easy to me, and I thought that winning and being competitive was everything. So I played all types of sports, and of course, the one sport that stuck with me was basketball. Now, when I first started, I wasn't very good. I would try to shoot a layup, and it would bounce off the backboard, go way over my head, and it wasn't a pretty sight. But I loved it, and I had a lot of fun, and I kind of had a passion for it, and I wanted to get better, and I knew that I could be better. So I asked my dad, Dad, I really want a basketball goal, the kind that goes out in your backyard, in your driveway. But I didn't want the plastic kind. I wanted the kind with the glass backboard on it. Those kind are really expensive. But I wanted it, and I begged for it. So my father said, if I spend this money and get this, you better use it. And boy, did I use that. Night and day, come rain or shine, I was out there shooting, working on my dribbling skills, and getting better and better. I loved basketball so much. Just playing basketball in school wasn't enough for me. I played year-round, and I felt myself, and I saw myself getting better and better. Come high school, I was considered one of the best players in the nation. And when you're in high school, there are two big games that you want to play in. One is the McDonald's All-American Game, and the other is the WBCA High School All-American Game. So when they sent out their letters, I was waiting for mine, because I'm going to play in at least one of them. And as everyone was receiving their letters, I kept waiting, and I kept waiting. And then I realized they had already put up the final roster, and I didn't get my invitation. That they didn't think that I was good enough to be a part of that. That was the first time that I felt that I failed. I was disappointed. I was doubting whether I was good enough or not, if I could ever be anything with this sport. And my father came to me and he said, Lindsey, I know you're sad and I know you're down, but I promise you, if you work hard enough, it will pay off. A few months later, during the college recruiting process, head coach at Duke University, Gail Gestencourse, came to visit me and my family. At the end of her visit, she came to me and she said, Lindsey, if you come to Duke, you will be the best player in the country. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, these coaches will say and they will do just about anything just to get you to go to their school. But I wanted to believe her. Deep down inside, I really wanted to believe her. And so I attended Duke University. And my first year, she was tough. I'm one of 5 freshmen, and she was the toughest and hardest on me. I didn't understand why. She believed in me so much, she wanted me to see it, so she kept pushing me until I finally saw some of these results. And I realized that I was playing with some of the best players in the country, and not just playing with them, I was playing better than some of them. She kept pushing me and made me believe in myself. Through my years in college and starting to believe in myself and starting to lead as a point guard in my position, I helped lead the Duke University Blue Devils to a couple ACC championships, to 2 Final Fours, and was put in the Hall of Fame, and I had my jersey retired there. To get your jersey retired at Duke, you have to win a national award. I won the Naismith Award my senior year, which is given to the top player in women's college basketball. About a month after that was the 2007 WNBA draft. As I sat at my table with my friends and my family, the WNBA president walked out to the podium. She had a WNBA jersey in her hand, and she said, with the #1 pick in the 2007 WNBA draft, the Phoenix Mercury select Lindsey Harding from Duke University. I could remember crying and being so happy and proud. I had exceeded my expectations. I had doubters in the past, but I had done it. I felt that I really did go beyond my dreams. And then moments later, my father hugged me and he said, do you remember when you were in high school? Do you remember when you didn't make those teams and how sad and disappointed you were? I told you if you work hard that it would truly pay off, and it did. The one thing I really learned from all of that was that hard work does pay off. It didn't happen when I wanted it to, because I thought at that time I worked harder than everybody. But I kept pushing and it did pay off. And then I realized it wasn't about winning, that it was truly about enjoying the journey. So at that time, I'm in my first year in the WNBA and I'm enjoying my journey. I am the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year, which, mind you, is a pretty big bonus if you win that. So I'm pretty happy. And 10 games left in the season, I go down and I injure my knee. I tore a ligament, my ACL, which sometimes can be a career-ending injury. I didn't understand why. Why did this happen? I finally felt that I got what I deserved for so many years. I knew I worked harder than everybody. I didn't know what to do. I was doubting myself once again. But then I stopped and I said, I made that decision that that wasn't going to be my last game, that I was going to have a strong career, that I was going to come back stronger, not just physically, but mentally as well. The doctors told me that it wasn't just the surgery that was going to be the hard part, it was the knee rehabilitation. I had to relearn how to contract a quad muscle. I had to relearn how to stand on it, put weight on it, take a step, walk correctly, jog, run, sprint, jump. It took so much self-discipline. It took perseverance. And once again, it took a lot of hard work. 6 months and 2 teams later, I helped lead the Atlanta Dream to our second consecutive Eastern Conference championship. And I'm healthy still to this day. And the one major thing that I learned from that is no matter what adversity is coming my way, no matter what challenge comes in front of me, that I can make that decision and I can persevere through, that I can get through anything. I know if I can get through that physically and mentally, I can get through anything. So being a professional athlete is more than just playing basketball. We're also role models. I do a lot of community service events and I also do a lot of speaking engagements. I spoke for Cox Radio one day. They have a organization that comes in with the youth of the inner city, and they bring in speakers who tell their stories, and then there's a Q&A portion for them. After I spoke, a young girl raised her hand, and as I walked over to her, I saw that she had a huge knee brace on, and she had crutches leaning against the table. And she said, I tore my ACL. When you got injured, did you ever feel like giving up and quitting and that you just couldn't come back? I was able to look at her and say, absolutely. Absolutely, I felt that way. I know what you're feeling in the pit of your stomach. I know the feeling that your heart feels like it's just pounding because you just don't know what to do and the uncertainty scares you. But I was also able to tell her that I made a decision. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I made the decision that I was going to come back stronger and that it wasn't going to defeat me. I was able to not just give her advice, but heartfelt guidance. I was able to look at her in the face and be able to say, look at me. If I can do it, you can do it. A huge lesson that I learned there was giving back was so important. I felt that I changed her view on everything. Actually, later she hugged me and she's like, I'm going to come back strong. I'm going to be like you. So I just finished my 6th season playing professionally. And in those 6 years, I've lived or played in over 11 countries and 4 continents. And I'm 26 years old. And each place has been different. Because to me, what I think is normal may not be normal somewhere else. And I can't be so quick to judge that. I have to be able to have an open mind and accept different cultures. Like my first time I went overseas to Italy, we have this thing in America that we like to call personal space. They don't. They stand about 2 to 3 inches, away from you, and that's normal. And I feel crowded all the time, but I didn't understand it. I was like, why is everybody so close? But that's how it is there, and I did have that open mind. And I was able to accept that, and I enjoyed that experience. I went to Russia for 6 months, Kursk, Russia, which is 8 hours outside of Moscow. And I learned certain words like hello, please, thank you. I knew how to count to 10 to make sure I can count my money. And I'm walking to the store through the snow like everyone else, and everyone's staring at me because, of course, I don't look like I'm Russian. And I get to the grocery store, and all I want is chicken and beef. So I go to the butcher, and I look at her, and I say, chicken and beef. And she just looked at me, scratched her head, and I said, chicken and beef. And I'm pointing, and I'm saying it louder and louder, and I realize the louder I say it, it still doesn't change the fact that she does not speak English. So I have to figure out another way. How can I communicate with her? So I looked at her, and I said, chicken. And she started laughing, and she said, ah. So she got me some chicken. And then I said, moo, beef. And of course she laughed, and I think she thinks that I'm, just a crazy American that I did that. But we communicated, and she was very friendly, and I enjoyed that experience. I also trained in Beijing, China with the U.S. national team, and I didn't realize how much they actually control, even the internet. I couldn't update my Facebook or Twitter status. I went to my teammate's room, I was like, something's wrong with my computer. And I realized that that's just how it is there, and it's okay. And so not every experience has been great or funny. Some have made me a little bit angry. I played in Turkey and Croatia, and in the middle of the game, while I'm dribbling the ball up the floor, people throw things at you from the stands because they don't like you, they don't want your team to win, they want to get in your head, and it's okay to them. I was so angry that was acceptable. I did not understand that these people are continuously throwing stuff at me. I wanted to take my water and throw it in the stands. I wanted to take the ball that I was dribbling and turn around and throw it at someone. That's what they wanted me to do. But I also realized that I had a goal. My goal was to win and get out of there. So I channeled all of those emotions and all that anger towards that goal. And mind you, scored about 45 points that game and we won, so they were really angry. And that helped me realize, no matter how nice I am to anyone or whatever, I can't control what anyone thinks or says or what they think about me or how they say something to me or how they treat me. I can only control me and my emotions and my goals and what I want. The big lesson that I learned there is that there are different definitions of what's normal. And as long as I have that open mind and that willingness to adapt, it's okay. So basketball, this little ball that some people think you just play a game with, has given me so much, has taught me so many lifelong lessons. It's taught me the true meaning of hard work. It's taught me that I can persevere through any adversity. It taught me that giving back is extremely important, that I not only have a responsibility but an obligation to give back, especially to the next generation. And it's also taught me that there are several definitions of what normal is. I'm still on my journey today, and I will continue to share it through this. Thank you.